Welcome to another episode of What If Civilization Started Over. Last episode we saw the war against the Diamond Pact. Brown and Magenta got attacked by the World Destroyer Alliance. Slate also expanded their borders inside of Korea, and there they found something that is revolutionary for this world: gunpowder. They did not told it to the other members of the World Destroyer Alliance. And that's how they turned against them here in the war against the Diamond Pact. Everywhere is being shot. People are getting killed everywhere inside of the fronts. People from Magenta are claiming back their capital province, and they're able to fight back the Reds, but there are also many casualties from Magenta as well, as Slate is also shooting Magenta people down. We see this major city gaining their stability again, and they are fighting against the Yellows and the Slates, who are firing shots sometimes. They're not shooting rapidly every second, as of course these older guns are very old and do not work as modern guns, of course. We see the island gain more stability by the Magentas, but slowly and surely Magenta is gaining their land back. But the red front is not getting pushed through. Red stays where they are and Magenta stays where they are, as many people here at this front line are getting killed by the Slates. How long the attack was by the Slates is unknown, but people say and got the information to the whole world that this attack was a couple of days long and not continuous every hour or so. Brown gains back some of their land by the Yellows, but also here there are many casualties. The capital is won over again, and the province of the capital is in the hands of Brown once more. Where the Yellows came on Britain's land, they are getting pushed back and away from this province, as Brown has fully control of their southern province again. Finally, Magenta can push through their front and win over a province that they lost a while back. They also push forward to a major city that they are able to free from the Reds, as there are many bodies found all over the provinces and all over the fronts, scattered around. And sometimes you see a pile of bodies, as Slate killed many of every World Destroyer member. They are finally able to free this province together with the upper one, and after a few weeks of fighting against a broken Red force, they are able to get them out of the capital and out of the capital's province. Now that Magenta has their lands back, or mostly their provinces that do really belong, there are negotiations inside the country, as Red isn't fighting back anymore, as Yellow is also not fighting back anymore. There are divided opinions about what to do next. Some people say that they have to rescue Brown as well, but Magenta says that that is just a far too stretched strategy, and they are unable to help their fellow old member of the Diamond Pact. So for now, this area stays occupied as it is, and Red is holding on their Brown land, but they are unable to hold back for much longer anyways. Here at Slate and Lavender, Slate is also operating here in, of course, Vietnam, and they're opening a front against Lavender. Some people have guns here, and also the people here that are still home at Lavender don't know what's happening. They're getting killed by something they just don't recognize. And there's a swarm of people marching towards settlements, and Lavender is getting betrayed by their third member. As there is a large campaign by the Slates, they get land that was originally for the Mints, and they want it. Slate wants the land. They are successful up to the point that they encircle the last people that are fighting back here, but there are not many. Slate also gets an attack on the Reds colony, and just a matter of time before they are defeated here in their colony, as red does not have many soldiers here to fight back against the slates, as they didn't expect any attack here. They see lavender and slate as an ally, but that turned out to be wrong, as slate is slowly getting every part of red's colony, and then the leader that leads this island, this colony, surrenders over to slate. But this colony holds on for a little while longer. Now that the world knows that the World Destroyer Alliance attacked the Diamond Pact, they also know what's happening inside Magenta and Brown. A country called Slate turned against them and killed many dozen people that were innocent but also, well, not, as they also killed red, yellow and etc. And Orange says to the rest of the Shield Pact that they have to intervene before things go wrong, as they can help Magenta out. And this is when the Shield Pact does not open a war against the World Destroyers. They open a war against a very weak country. A country that is feeling betrayed, and Magenta is not really happy what Shield Pact is going to do next. Orange opens the war against Brown, and also the occupied land of, well, Brown. There are forces heading inside all Brown's territory, and Orange was very prepared for this. They are able to get very much land very quickly in a few weeks, and they come up to Yellow's front and they occupy the coast of France. They go down this province and they meet up with forces from Magenta. Magenta figures out what Orange is doing and is leading not an attack with the full Shield Pact. Orange is doing it on their own. The Shield Pact is not helping. The Shield Pact only just allowed Orange to attack a certain country and they won't intervene with the rest of the members. Then Orange sailed across the channel and they are attacking yellow forces, but there are not many anymore, as many left already and many are killed when Slate attacked. They meet up with brown forces, but not many forces are left, as many were killed as well, and people from Slate are almost nowhere to be found. As there are people fighting back the oranges, that is not really successful. They also have to fight back yellow, that still holds up a little bit here. They free a little bit more of their nearby province of the capital, but then they are stopped, as there are still people from the yellows fighting back, but there are also people fighting inside the province of the capital, but also against Orange. But Orange is leading an attack that they can win, as they are the strongest out of these three countries. Brown is getting attacked, and they are getting pushed out of the provinces one by one because of Orange's attack. They are also attacking yellow again, and more of brown at the same time. And slowly, Orange is winning this war. For what? Why are they attacking brown in the first place and not the World Destroyers? The southernmost province of Brown surrenders over to Orange, and as well the southern yellow front. That was the only front left, as the rest was just occupied, because, well, Brown surrendered. Orange takes over the rest of the front and the occupied land, and slowly the rest of Brown's armies or troops are getting captured or killed if necessary. Brown is again very close to fall in the hands of a different country. But before Orange can get a hold of the capital, Sea Green just enters the province and is able to occupy the capital of Brown. That came out of nowhere, and the Oranges are just waiting for an answer by the Sea Greens why they did that, and if they have to fight back the Sea Greens as well. It's just like an attack by Sea Green that they want to control the whole Brittany Island. Orange doesn't know yet. Their attack against the occupied land of Brown is successful, and after a few weeks, very few reds are left fighting against the Orange. The Oranges are getting far south. The Magentas are getting rid of the last mainland red forces who were still there holding on, and they freed the upper island. They also are entering yellow forces at the bottom of the boot. But what is exactly happening inside the World Destroyers itself? As the Red King doesn't know how to respond, he calls as many of his troops back, but that just takes too long and he lost a lot of more troops. Slowly, the Red King realizes that this was a very big mistake to attack the Diamond Alliance, who is now departed. And they realize and notice that their civilians of Red are getting a little bit upset by the again attack that wasn't necessary, and there is a downfall to their doorstep. The Red King wants to control his land, but then he gets a note that his most upper claimed land is diverting from the king's ideas. We see Dark Red return. People from the Dark Reds that were very loyal to their country that got eliminated very long ago. Dark Red wants to operate again and get a hold of different parts of the war. Magenta is weak and they know it. Red is weak and they know it. So this was a right opportunity to strike back people who had the same ideas as Dark Red once had. The Dark Reds invade Red's territory, and they are very welcomed by the people here. Some people weren't really happy that Dark Red was gone, but they didn't really mind Red as well. But now that Dark Red is starting to operate again, they open their arms up and welcome them very well. As Spain is occupied by Dark Red, they just take it all. And the next operation is to go up north. Orange is fighting against the last yellow troops. They are weak and they are also just surrendering or fleeing from the oranges. And now Orange is going to get more south as they really want the rest of Brown. But they don't know that there is a threat further south that is back. The King of Red knows that his upper claimed occupied land from Brown is lost, and he just forgets about it. He wants to have a stable country and, defend himself if Dark Reds are going to enter mainland Red. He also finally gets the news that Slate is attacking his colony. But he is too late for that. He has to focus on his mainland. He also wants help from Yellow. But Yellow stays quiet for a bit. Dark Red is claiming more land that Red once occupied of Brown. Also, Magenta is able to get their province back that they had before the war started. And the last one is back in their own hands. Dark Red slowly owns the whole rest of Brown. And then they meet up with two other countries, Magenta and Orange. And Orange gasps for a moment. They realize that Dark Red is back. Fully operating, that's not the case. But they are back with many followers. But this is the front how it will look like for now, as all the three countries are hesitating to go further. Magenta asks, is Dark Red an enemy? Orange asks the same. But Dark Red doesn't know if Magenta will attack or Orange will attack. It is a very tense moment right there. Butter is also a country that is very scared of the invasion of Dark Red, as they know they have the city where the last Dark Red King ever lived. They are hesitating on even leaving the island before an attack happens. But then Butter gets the news that Red will help them if Dark Red ever will attack Butter. Magenta is now getting rid of the last forces of Yellow that still occupy the boot. And after a few weeks, Yellow has been eliminated from the boot of Magenta. But then Magenta has their full land back. They see an opportunity to even fight with Orange and the Shield Pact against Dark Red. But after a few weeks holding on the lands that were occupied, the king of Magenta gets a very sad news from one certain man who escaped a certain front. Not from dark red, not from reddish pink or anything like that, no. Magenta is getting attacked back at the southern part of their booth. Night Blue attacks Magenta and is getting much land from their booth. They capture a major city and they go up north to fight against the last troops. Magenta is very scared and is very confused why Night Blue is attacking. They do know that Night Blue has sort of the same ideas as Dark Blue once had, but they never had Dark Blue as their main enemy. They are actually very sad that Dark Blue is gone and that there is even a worse replacer, Night Blue. They capture the whole southern booth and these few provinces are holding on by the Night Blues. But why are the Night Blues attacking now? Why are they attacking Magenta? Well, Lavender had this all in their plan. As Night Blue joined the World Destroyers. That happened sometime after they occupied the very good land of Dark Blue. Lavender knew that it was a very good ally up north, and they finally got through it, and Night Blue is a part of the World Destroyers now. They had few campaigns starting, as Magenta was not the only country they attacked. They also got an order from Lavender to attack elsewhere. They attacked the border dispute with Peanut Brown and Lavender. Night Blue now owns it and will hold on for a moment before Lavender will take it over again. Peanut Brown saw this coming, that they were going to lose the province, but not by Night Blue. Forces are heading up north and fighting against last few forces of Magenta, but there aren't really many left, as they meet up with old fronts that are very easy to grab, more easy than provinces that were never taken by reds or yellows. But Night Blue isn't hesitating, as their army was very huge, and they're able to get up north very far against the province of the capital. After a few weeks, they finally have a breakthrough and they attack the capital province. They circle most of the troops in, and then after a week, the capital has been fallen to the Night Blues. They also have an attack on the island, the most upper one, and Night Blue has it in their hands. And this is just a very sad sight, as Magenta has fallen again. Dark Red sees an opportunity to open the front against Magenta, and they are able to get a province. And they are getting rid of many forces of Magenta. And then they meet up with Night Blue. Two very interesting countries, but two countries that have something in common. Indirectly, Night Blue was a part of Dark Blue, so these two countries are not hostile. They both see each other as a very good ally. Night Blue is a very sneaky country. They attacked many countries southern, as they attacked part of Olive in the south. They attacked Dark Blue, they attacked Neon Lime, and now they attacked Magenta. Then Night Blue does something that turns this war upside down once more. They attack the red forces on the southern island. They are attacking World Destroyer troops. They are getting rid of them all on the island. And then they figure out that Red lost the island. And Night Blue is just doing a sneaky attack once more. And why? Well, that's because of the following. They left the World Destroyers. Why? Well, they saw an opportunity to take Magenta, a country that they were interested in, as Dark Blue once had land there very, very, very long ago, while the first Great War happened. Night Blue wanted the land. Night Blue is just a country that wants to expand more than they have. They are stuck where they were. They can attack Neon Lime, but they are now in an alliance. Cyan as well, Purple as well. The southern parts can be attacked, like Peanut Brown and Amethyst, but they see them more as an ally than Magenta, who was just there to grab. When the news came also forward to Night Blue that Dark Red returned, they saw an opportunity to bring something back from the dead. As the Southern Pact makes its return, this was an operation led by Night Blue, and when they knew Dark Red returned, this could make them even stronger. Now that Dark Red gets, well, help from Night Blue, it's very sure and very clear what needs to happen. They are going to attack Magenta, and they are not stopping before it's fully gone. Dark Red opens a front against the Magentas, who are very weak, and no one is there even to fight back anymore, as they are weak, they are broken, and they are exhausted. These two countries are just now getting into Magenta with ease, and they are not stopping before every part is gone. As the fronts are getting larger, and Magenta has not a way to fight back any more longer, and after holding on for a great while, Magenta surrenders to the Southern Pact. And now, let's take a look at the first peace treaty with Magenta and the Southern Pact. This is how it's looking like right now. Night Blue got most southern parts of Magenta and Dark Red the northern parts of Magenta. And now, for Dark Red and Night Blue, but mostly Dark Red, the next step is Brown. So Dark Red opens the front against Orange, who occupies a lot of land of Brown. They are able to get much land in the first few weeks. People from Brown are getting overrun again, like people in the settlements. There's a different country again here fighting for land. Dark Red is now here. And before anything is getting very south, Orange leaves the war against Dark Red and gives them the rest of the land. That was very easy, Dark Red says. And they make a deal with Sea Green that they can have the capital province of Brown. But that there has to be a peace treaty with Brown as well, as they are not fully annexed. Orange isn't like that. They know Brown was very evil to them back in the day, but they cannot be this evil to Brown, because the World Destroyers attacked Brown as well. They just have some kind of mercy. Slate also orders the most northern settlement to be theirs, and Orange allows. So let's take a look at the peace treaty with Orange, Sea Green and Brown. This is how it will look like. Orange will have the southernmost Britain part of the island. Brown will have, well, a southern part of it, and Sea Green will get the capital and a upper city. The capital city of Brown moves to their northern city, as there is just one major city left. So this is figured out now. And now the fully peace treaty with Magenta as well, as Night Blue is not hesitating at all. They claim all of it. Dark Red hesitates for a bit, as they are very huge for now, and they are still very unstable. So they will let one thing happen. As Magenta will survive this war, but move quite far east. Their new capital city is the most northern one near Indigo, and they will still operate. Dark Red is just not stupid, and they are not able to claim all of Magenta and Brown without one rebel group popping up. So they are smart to let Magenta still live. They notice, well, groups of people fleeing Dark Red and joining back with Magenta. But the rest of Magenta and Brown is claimed by Dark Red. And their new acquired land is revolutionary, as the world map hasn't been looking like in Europe like this since the very beginning. Magenta is very sad and feels betrayed by their old friend Orange. They did not really help in this war at all, other than, well, working out with their own problem, Brown again. As Magenta knows that they had a reason for it, that Magenta was in the alliance with Brown, They just feel like that things need to settle down, and by that I mean that they join the Square Pact instead of the Shield Pact. The world is looking very different in Europe. The World Destroyers are not done yet, as they lost the war against Magenta and Brown. Ironically, that Magenta also lost and Brown too. They have a different enemy right here. And that is Slate. As Slate leaves the World Destroyer Alliance and is attacking Lavender and Red even more to be eventually the strongest country in the world.